All right, so our guy is imported and stuff, and normally what I would do is just start sculpting him, right? So I would just go through and start sculpting him and what have you. But what I'm going to do instead is, why does his crotch look so weird? Um, but instead, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to paint his areas, the various colors, because that will make it actually easier for me to do the sculpting. And what I mean by that is I'm just going to put base colors, like his fins are a color, this is a color, his thing is a color. And that way, when I'm doing the sculpting, I can tell like where one area starts and another one ends. So, for instance, if you had a person, they had like a long sleeve shirt, you're going to want to treat the part that's a sleeve, or let's say they're wearing like one of those half sleeve shirts, weirdos, the capri shirts or something. I don't know what they're called, but that way you would know where the sleeve and the arm start and end. Okay, so I'm actually going to paint those first. They're just placeholders, really. We'll probably like completely change the color afterwards, but I just want to get something in there just to make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to switch to layers here and then choose paint, and I'm going to click on this. And then we'll do 2048. I like to do the PNG 8-bit. And we're just going to call this base colors. And make sure the channel is diffuse. Diffuse is color. Okay? Great. Now what we're going to do is we're going to paint on him. So probably the easiest way of doing this is this. We're going to select the paintbrush. Go ahead and you can put mirroring on X. That's fine. Go to color and then choose whatever whatever the largest color is. So for me, it's like a yellow. So I'm going to do like this bright yellow. And then I am actually just going to, if you scroll down, you can flood paint layer, and that will just flood the entire thing with that one color. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is my next biggest color, which will be blue. So I'm going to look for a blue and look for the blue. He really is ridiculously colored thing. So I'm going to choose blue. I got my paintbrush. I'm going to choose solid because I'm just trying to do solid colors. And all I'm going to do, is not that. I'm going to hit B to make it smaller. And I'm going to put little dots, like a dot there, that should be blue. A dot here, that should be blue. This should be blue. Make sure both sides, because this is actually cut into two sections. This should be blue. This should be blue. Trying to make sure I get both parts of the glove. I guess that's everything that's blue. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is go to my next color. So we'll say I'm going to do like kind of a darkish, grayish color for his fin thing here. So I'm going to paint that a little bit. I just want to put a little bit on there. Just make sure you don't overlap anything. So that's fine. There should be a little bit there too. And what else has that? I think that's it for full color. There's like, these actually have black stripes and these black stripes on here, but those are going to be painted manually. So I think that was it for that color. And then I should have a red color. So I feel like it should be a little bit more on the burnt, like brownish color. More like that. We'll hit OK. And then he's got this. Okay. So I know it seems kind of weird, but that's what we're going to do. All right. So now that we have basically a rough just dot so we know what each part is. Oh, you know what? I didn't do this either. So let's do this. Click on hue. Should put a dot on the inside of that to make sure I grab it. And then these also, well, doesn't matter. We'll just do it after. You'll figure it out. Okay. So what I'm going to do is to paint these. I can paint around the model like I did, but I'm just going to be guesstimating. What I want to do is utilize the fact that I have the UV shells divided by the type. So I'm going to go to UVs and maps and flatten to UV space. And what that's going to do is it's going to show me, it's going to take it and make it into our UVs. Be aware if you're behind, you're not going to see it. Although, looks like I got some messed up UVs because those shouldn't be back there. Something weird's going on with his crotch there. Let me see something. I don't know. Not good UVs. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically try to paint the areas here with the colors they're supposed to be. And I'm going to undo that. Undo. And want to turn mirroring off now, because you'll notice that it mirrors across, and my UVs are not mirrored. Unlike a lot of my other aspects, they are not. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get good. And see, I didn't put a dot on that one, but I know that's there. Now, if you notice that your UVs are just really bad, Mine are not great. I'm going to see how this turns out. You can always just go back and just go back to your original thing and see if you want to adjust the UVs before you carry on. That's the other advantage of this, is that I can see if there's any particularly really bad areas. Hopefully it won't be too bad, but I mean, who knows? I'm going to hit my eyedropper. I'm going to click on this, and then we'll just paintbrush the red onto this guy. Hit my eyedropper, paint under the dark colors, and paint this. I only have a couple of primary colors, but basically the idea is that, like, if your character has blue jeans, put on the blue jean color. Oh, see, like, this should be blue. So, where are you? Eyedropper, boop. And there we go. And where are you? Eyedropper, boop. Ah, crap, missed that one too. Eyedropper. Make sure did I miss any other ones? That should be everything, right? Okay. And then we'll eyedropper, boop. And I actually forgot to do his flesh tones as well. So, click on this. And he is Canadian, so he's a pretty pale guy. We'll go with like that. Not getting as much sun, if you will. I'm a pretty pale person myself. So we'll put some there, and then where is his mouth? I think this is his mouth. Okay, like that. So once you painted all the pieces, you're just going to go to UVs, and then you just go unflatten from U space. And if you need to, you can go back and forth and back and forth. Just want to make sure that everything looks like it got painted. So if you look, see, there's like a little bit of weirdness right here that I'm not super pleased with. So I might go back and fix some of that, and then what have you, just because this is going to be crummy the whole way through. But let's just, in order to see it again, I'm going to click, control, click off, and then let's just make this brush a lot smaller. Let's eyedrop this color. Make sure I put mirroring on X again. I'm going to see if I can paint this blue. See how I can't? And that's just because the UVs aren't that great. So, and it's also like that in here. And it's just because the underwear line in general is not great. So I'm going to look, see if there's any other issues on this where I'm having the seams are really bad and obvious. I'm not worried about the eyeballs. That's not a big deal. They're going to be weird looking because they're going to be the same texture map that's being applied to this will also be applied to that. So it's going to be kind of strange, but don't worry about that. Any other areas? It's really just the underwear, from what I can tell, that looks not great. So I'll probably fix that before the next video. But that's what I want you to do, is just get the general coloring done, right? So now he looks like some crummy action figure. And then what we can do is start sculpting. You don't have to do this beforehand. I just like doing it because that way I can see, like, when I'm sculpting, that this is like, that this starts here. So I know when I get to the edge here, this is when the next part. So, you know, like, this is where the belt starts. So when I sculpt here, I know to stop here for his muscles. Otherwise, it might, if I didn't have the colors here, it might be a little bit confusing as to where the line is. But by putting the colors on, it gives me a better idea. Okay, so that's the idea. Just do the solid colors. Like I said, we're gonna do a lot more to those. That's just to get something in there. I'm gonna fix his undies here, and then we'll see you in the next one.